Hey fellow skeptics, hope you're all doing well. This is Lester, the Skeptic Tank, once again. Just an update. Back home, as you can tell in the back, based on the backdrop, background, uh, feeling okay. Not too much jet lag, if any jet lag. I don't know if it's a trick of the trade or not. It's just something that either I'm just too lazy to do it, but I didn't adjust my wristwatch, which is set to Pacific time, and when I was in Tennessee for the last 4 days, give or take. I just did the mental math where I needed because my phone, of course, will automatically adjust once I've got mobile going on. It'll adjust automatically. So that was cool. So at least I didn't miss anything due to time of the training classes I was doing Monday and Tuesday over there in Tennessee. Just to recap real quick, if you haven't, really recommend you checking out Tactical Response for their classes. They they do what's called a trifecta, which is a 3-class set. Now, everyone's financial situation will be what it is. If you can't do the trifecta in one shot, don't feel too badly. They do have the individual classes of the 3 available, so you can take them separately. Just time and money is usually going to be a thing, whether you can take the amount of time off, because each of these classes are 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, 2 days in length. So if you do the trifecta, imagine being around for like those 6 straight days. If I remember, based on my roommate's scheduling, he had the first set of 2 days, and then the second set of 2 days, and then the last set of 2 days on Monday and Tuesday, respectively. So, but as I'm going through my trajectory with that program, I've got one more class up next week. It's called Immediate Action Medical, and that will wrap up my sense of the trifecta. But if you have the time and the funds to do it, and up front, it may look like a lot, but I think when you do the math on the 3 classes, we do make out better just on a per package basis. Instead of paying the amount I paid for each of the classes and you add those individual costs up, yes, if you could do it, do the trifecta. The other thing is, again, having the time available. If you're a person like me working pretty much a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job, you're going to have to work around whatever scheduling you have available. If you got to take time off, like I did, you got to do that. But this last class I took, it's called the Fight. But but in terms of the trifecta, that's usually like the recommended intro path into their programs, unless you have prior experience. But if you are someone without experience, which I would say a good 50% or more are part of that bundle, I would say you can't go wrong with the trifecta path because it sets you on the right path of learning, because they will tell you this is the first class you're going to take, this is the second class, and this is the third. I did it such because based on my friend and old instructor, who I'll call Dr. Pepper, just knowing how he is, I don't want to draw any undue attention to him. That's how much I value him as a friend and respect his anonymity on the other end. So at the same time, this is how I did it. Part of the trifecta is taking a class called the Fight, Immediate Action Medical, and then, excuse me, not the Fight, but Fighting Pistol. Fighting Pistol is the first class you would take, and then if you do the trifecta, the second class you'll take is Immediate Action Medical, and then followed by the Fight. So the 2 days I was in the Fight, and I'll just say without any spoilers, I'll real quickly say it's each scenario that we did was like a window into my own soul. Not that it will condemn me or anything, but it just gives me a real means of reflection about what you would think you would do versus what you actually should have done. Or, on the other end, what you think you would have done, but you actually should not have done. And if there is any soapboxing I'm going to do in terms of training, especially within the realm of martial arts, a lot of people always train the skill set, which is great. But then when it comes to like real life situations, too much lip service is being paid. I'm not the I'll admit I'm not the best out there, but I have to say it's one thing to pay the lip service to everyday situations, but it's another to train them. So if you have the opportunity to train those situations in a safe way, which I appreciate how tactical response does it. It's about close to realism without really fearing death in the midst of it. And I will say there is enough intensity to make your adrenaline even go higher than you would anticipate. And yes, some of those effects were real, especially even after each scenario, because depending on the scenario, you would feel your adrenaline increasing in different levels. And depending on the scenario, at least for me, I felt like mentally I returned back to normal, but your body, as another term I believe would be cortisol levels, stress levels. Mentally, I was still there, but physically, I could still feel like that adrenaline rush going. Kind of trippy when, especially when I'm doing these after action reports. So, again, if you're gonna, if you are one of those who are of the two-way mindset and those who know what I'm referring to and want to get solid training, find tactical response, take fighting pistol because that will set the foundation as you go into each of the other two classes and then other classes moving forward. Because it's not just those three, but those are the three foundational classes you would take from them, and then every other class offered on their site. They would build upon what you have learned. But the trifecta is what it is for a reason, laying down that foundational work. And if you guys have caught my community post, if you can get the print version of that book I posted, The Four Pillars of Fighting, great. If not, if money is tight and you don't have the shelf space, I totally get it. They do offer the Kindle version. I did get that the first time around, but I got the physical version. It's good to have both, but you never know when that might go away. That's the only reason why I err on the side of getting the physical copy, because it's there and it'll be at your fingertips. You technically really own it. And that's all I'll say about that. Like I said, tactical response, like in my first video, they do have a YouTube channel, so if you want to check out their videos, get some of their insights, head over to their YouTube channel, subscribe. Even though James Yeager had passed away, those who he taught and trained and those of his family, they've taken it over and they're doing their darndest to make sure that the programs are taught the way he wanted it to be taught, to the quality that he wanted. And I can say without beyond a shadow of a doubt, they've done that. And I look forward to taking immediate action medical, which is the last part for me anyway, because again, Dr. Pepper advised I do the fight before I do immediate action medical. That aside, I do want to give it heads up because as I was in Tennessee, I was monitoring the packages that were coming to me throughout the days I was gone. And of course, everyone's afraid, especially when you get these deliveries, plop them at your door. You never know. Thankfully, by the grace of God, I had my packages just staying by my front door. So, all good and well. I do want to do a little bit of an unboxing. I've kind of opened the packages already, but I was waiting. I forgot where I was inspired by. I think it was Tim Hayes, along with Analog Toys, and his discussion with Matthew Swafford. I forget his channel. I'll have to definitely dig that up. But those two, Analog Toys and Matthew Swafford, they're intimately tied with Retroblasting in terms of their friendships and collaborations, and so those two. They had Analog Toys had done a deep dive on Centurions, particularly the figures. But in the attempt to get the physical media I want to get, I found this on eBay. I paid what I paid. I think it was like 60 something dollars, which I think for me, I could be wrong, but in my assessment, not too bad of a price, especially when these are, to me, I'll take it for what it's worth. They're sealed, so I can't complain. So according to this here, here goes my cap, and I just shaved my head this afternoon. Runtime looks to be, according to the box, it's 647 minutes. Cool. That can hold me over for a plane flight, which I did with Macross Saga of Robotech. I own the media. I had a way to put it on my phone. Watched it while my phone was in airplane mode, and kept me over during my flight. And with my love-hate relationship with tech, I wish I had brought my wired headset with me. That way, I didn't have to worry about my earbuds running out of battery. I have to check this out. I mean, when I saw this as a kid in the 80s, I was like, oh, cool, Centurions. I even collected the toys at the time, which, from my understanding and discussions I've, I've come in contact with, they say the toys are they're not the most expensive items, but the accessories are where the expenses come. And giving credit where it's due, Netters Network on one of their Thursday streams, I think it was, if not, it's the last call, one of the two, they had tipped about this site, tunghori.com, Tunghori. As I learned, they're based out of Hong Kong. I was surprised how fast these came in, particularly getting out of Hong Kong and then into customs. And again, I have my sensibilities. Everyone's got their sensibilities. I'm not the toy collector that Analog Toys or Retro Blasting are, but I do try to heed their insights into what they look for and kind of help me hone in what I look for myself. But when I looked at their website, I couldn't pass up, and that's what a good website will do. A good website will hook you into what they offer in terms of offerings. And so I couldn't pass it up, especially with the price points they were asking for. And I don't know if they're in the same mode or vibe as Stan Solo. Stan Solo, if you don't know, is one of the many custom toy manufacturers out there. So this one I ordered, it's a Darth Vader. Hope you can tell. Cape is covering everything, but that's all good. Comes with a saber. Interesting. I'll see if this saber fits in his hand. Okay. Looks like it does. There it is. That's one. I couldn't pass it up because the price points were pretty reasonable in my mind, because I know, and I know I've been slacking off the Bruce Lee action figure thought piece, especially since I have gotten new information. I might have mentioned that in another video, where basically I looked at the pricing of that figure and I go, I'm not paying $70 for those. And so I'm gonna have some time with this. I might use, depending on the size of the peg holes, I might use the remaining action figure or action force peg stands I ordered before. So that's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna get that. The other one, I got two Lukes. So this one I got two this Luke, and I think, yes, this one. The other one, cool, it comes with a gun and his saber. Looks like a gun, yep. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to dig into this later, but yes. So those are my unboxings. Again, fellow skeptics, thank you again. As always, feel free to comment. I think that helps me more than purely subscriber count, though that would be nice. I appreciate what the comments bring to me as far as what to focus on. So anything you can chime in with, cool. I'll try to work with what you may request, whether that's specific content or specific deep dives. The next one I might do is the installation of my 4K drive that I got maybe a couple months ago already. It's been that long. I just haven't installed it. So again, stay tuned. Till the next video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you have a good rest of the day. And if I don't hear anything from you guys, whether that's from a comment or whatever, hope you have a good weekend on top of that, especially for those celebrating Labor Day. Make it as relaxing yet productive you can make it. Make the most of your 3 or 4 day weekend, however you're going to play it out. All right, signing off. Bye-bye.